Welcome back to our NewsMakers Extra on Sport 2009. We are with Bryan Ashby, Marg Foster and Leslie Murdoch. Beyond the current series with Pakistan, what's in store over the summer for the Black Caps, Leslie?
Bangladesh and Australia beacons. Exciting. Test series, one-dayers, Chapel Hadley. And for the women, a diet against the Australians.
A diet?
A diet of one-dayers.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
diet.
not going to eat them,
nice
but
phrase.
yeah, one-dayers, a heap of them, both across the Tasman and back here. And locally, of course, the Plunket Shield.
Yes.
Great to see that dusted off and played for in the longer version of the game.
Absolutely. Did Andy Moles have to go, Bryan?
I was just going to say that's the other thing on the... well, I guess when you've lost the confidence of everybody around you, it's a pretty tough environment to survive in. I'm very disappointed by all that. The inmates running the asylum, no coach there at the moment. I just don't think it's a very good look at all, and I think perhaps it's reflected in Shane Bond, the way he was managed in the first test against Pakistan, and in some ways overused, overbowled, Rolls-Royce being taken to the dairy.
No conspiracy theories, though, really.
Really?
Well, I just think he was the key to the win, there's no doubt about that, but got overbowled.
Yeah.
And he would have said no, or maybe should have said no.
Who should coach the Black Caps if they need one? When they finally decide to have a coach, who should it be?
Well, should they,
Or
like
a
obviously
manager.
Dan's doing a great job. I didn't realise that the captain had so much say on the field anyway, like from a...
Yeah, they always have.
Yeah.
Like tactical, they're
the ones,
running
aren't
the
they?
show.
So
yeah.
therefore, do they need someone that's more in a managerial position rather than a...
Who would that
you know,
be?
Because they've got the best in the business. They've got Dave
Well, we've
Curry
got
as the
Dave
manager,
Curry.
the Olympic
True.
chef
A
division.
perfect world, John Wright. In
Yep.
a perfect world, if you could get him.
Yep.
What about Stephen Fleming? Because I think that was Vittori's idea, wasn't it?
No, he can't be there because he's also the manager of about 5 players.
Oh.
So that wouldn't be...
No.
I don't think that...
Steve
He's got to do his
Rickson
time
has
as well.
the
You can't just
respect of
jump
the players.
from...
Yeah. True. Okay.
Well, I
Well,
think
they
they need a
said Bruce
woman.
Edgar as well.
They need a woman.
I think they need a woman.
What about you, Leslie?
You
Not
putting your hand
available.
up?
Not available.
We'll be referees.
Depends
for
what the money
Yeah.
is. No, seriously. I think if Daniel Vittori, I rate him so much as a cricketer. He, at the international level, does the business, does everything. Bats, bowls. He's now the selector. He is going to need some restorative surgery on his shoulder. And when is he going to do that? My pick is that he will take the series off against Bangladesh
Okay.
and come back fresh.
I will give you a free shot now. Highlight and lowlight of the year. What has left a searing mark on your calendar, Marg?
Well, you can't... For me, it's kind of like a highlight, low light, and it's probably Tiger Woods and his escapades. I guess, for me, I kind of held him up as being like almost, well, not God, but, you know, sort of way up there. And it just kind of shows that he's human, after all. And, you know, that us women, we've got a lot to answer for, Mike, you know.
Can a tiger change its stripes?
He's changed his name to Cheetah.
Oh,
boom,
that's ridiculous.
What's been your highlight, Mr. Ashby?
Oh, women, actually, to be honest. Ali Shanks, Valerie Veely, Gina Crawford from here in Christchurch, sub-9, our fastest ever Ironman, and on the international stage, the comeback of Kim Clijsters. Maybe it says a wee bit about the state of the women's game, but nonetheless, a mum coming back, first time since Yvonne Corley way back in 1980, winning a Grand Slam. I thought that was very cool.
I like
Mrs.
Bryan.
Murdoch.
He's really lovely, Bryan, isn't he? Yeah.
Do you want to give him a hug?
All black. After I will.
Okay.
Yeah, all blacks in their final performance. I love that. All whites definitely, and the wonderful victories for our men's and women's Black Sticks team, winning the second layer of tournaments. But they're there, and that is one of the most underrated organisations in this country, sporting ones. The New Zealand Hockey Federation. They do really well.
Very nice. There was probably nothing more hyped in the sporting year than the Tua Cameron encounter. What do you envisage the year will bring David Tua? Is he back in the big time?
Hopefully a bit more money if you're his bank manager. I think he probably is back in the big time. It was interesting that I just read earlier this week that Google hits the New Zealand hits on Google, that I think he was second or third.
Just behind David Bain.
David Bain.
Yeah, so you've got to be called David. Maybe there was something wrong in the whole process there, but clearly there's a huge support base for him in the country still.
Yeah. The rugby league team, the Kiwis, of course they were world champions this time last year. What went wrong?
They
What
still
happened?
are.
Oh,
They're
well, I
still
suppose
world
they are.
champions.
Yeah.
Look, they had like one-off games. They went over to this Four Nations tournament without any build-up. I mean, how can you do that? We don't send the All Blacks away and say, go and play in a Four Nations tournament without any build-up. And we talked right at the beginning of the program about getting those invisible threads knitted together. I mean, you don't have a chance to do that. They had a few players out injured as well. I mean, I just think, well, what was the Four Nations tournament?
But every team, though, is in that situation. It's not just New Zealand. Like Australia, they didn't have any build-up, and neither did England and
But what did it mean?
France.
What did the Four Nations really?
Right.
It's not a world championship, because we are the world champions. You can't take that off them.
Very good. All right. Now, Valerie Velli, of course, world champion again. With respect to the Hellbergs, who do you think is going to battle it out for top honours?
Oh, Shanks and Velli. I think
For the sportswoman.
Sportswoman.
Who
yeah.
would you give the nod to?
Probably Ellie Shanks, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd lean a little bit more that way, where she's come from, short period of time, and so, I mean, she's only just got the training wheels off already. She's had her fourth in the Olympics and as a world champion. I think that's huge.
Okay. If there was only one sporting event you could watch next year, what is the not-to-be-missed event? Leslie?
Football semis and finals. World Cup.
Right.
Oh, I'm beating myself up. I'm sort of leaning that way, but Lance Armstrong and the Radio Shack team in the Tour de France and a few Kiwis there as well.
Yeah. Oh, tough one,
Oh,
Bryan.
might have to suck myself onto the back of the peloton, actually.
I've got 10 seconds, Marg.
Look, because I've said other sports, I'll have to go for netball for the final
At the
Commonwealth Games.
There you go. Thank you very much for joining us, and a very Merry Christmas to you. Have a great
You
New
too.
Year.
Thank you.
Marg Foster, Bryan Ashby and Leslie Murdoch, thanks for your company. Good night.